Hey, welcome to the morning stand-up. My name is Stacy Cay, and I'm back after a pretty long hiatus because I was busy moving, and that's all Trump's fault. Don't get mad at me that you haven't had any podcast episodes lately. You know, it's out of my hair. I tried to stop him. I tried to stop him from getting elected, but now we're screwed. This is really a test episode. Since I moved, that's where my podcast studio was. I lost all my stuff in the move, but you see, I still got my chair. I didn't lose stuff in the conventional sense. It's just like more in a box, and I haven't had the energy to get everything out yet and set up yet. But yeah. What am I supposed to talk about? It's been like so much time. I haven't done a solo podcast like this in a long time. I've been having guests and stuff because I think guests are fun, and also it's less pressure on me to just talk all the time and just. I don't want to talk too much about everything I'm thinking about because then I'll just be airing out grievances, and people will get mad at me and they'll be like, "Well, Stacy, why would you talk about what's happening in your personal life? Don't you know that impacts people in real life?" And that's exactly why I'm not doing it, because that annoying voice that I just made actually had some good points, and I actually respect them. I did the annoying voice because that's one of the only voices I know how to do, and I was trying to act like a different character for the bit. Let's see, the last podcast episode, I believe, was with Morgana in LA. That was back in March. It's been 3 months since my last, almost 4 months since my last podcast episode, and I just want you guys to know that I'm aware that I've failed you all in producing content, but I gotta stop saying stuff like that and then just bailing from it, like trying to come up with excuses for something that I say is a good reason anyway. It's because I'm so used to pleasing everyone, all right? Everybody, I have to do both sides of every fucking argument, and I'm tired of it. You hear that, guys? I'm not going to please all of you anymore. I'm only going to please a few of you. And that sounds weird. It really has been a long time since my last solo episode. That was like probably over a year ago. And since then, I've grown as a person. I've probably gained about 5 pounds in that time, and now I live in Baltimore. I don't live in Kansas City anymore, which I've talked about, I think, a decent amount online. I just had to get out because of the politics, and now I'm finally out of that thing, and I don't have to pay attention to politics anymore, so it's not my problem. God, I wish that was true. I had a tour. I had a tour a few months ago. Last month, I guess. I had a tour. It's not even been a month. Went from started in New York and did in Denver. We went through the Midwest, did 5 different shows, and had a great time. It was me and Robin Tran, and we flew into Chicago, and then we drove the rest of the way, and we filmed all of the shows. We got from 2 different angles, and we haven't posted. Robin's posted just a little bit of footage so far, but the good looking footage, the better looking footage, is still being worked on. But we filmed ourselves doing basically the same set 5 times in a span of 10 days in 5 different states and venues. I did a lot more of the same material because I'm a newer comic. I did 30 minutes. And I ran it a little bit different because that's just how comedy works. You don't always do things exactly how you think you're going to. And that was the most extended time that I've ever run consecutively. So that got me a lot of practice. And by the 5th show in Denver, I feel like I was pretty sharp. And that set is, I think, the one I'm the most proud of. And hopefully it'll actually. I haven't watched the footage yet because it's hard watching yourself. Do you know how hard it is to watch yourself recite things that you wrote on stage? There's a million different ways you can say and do everything, and it never goes exactly how you want it to, because there's so much to remember and stuff. And back when I was doing like 5 minute sets, maybe I could feel like I had more control over that little thing. But when I'm doing 30 minutes, it's just hard to be in the same exact headspace every time, and it always just comes out a little different. Robin did an hour on every show, so and she also did a lot more. What's the word? She had, I would say, bombing. She in Kansas City, she just had a spot midway through the show, where she was like, it was our third show we had done, fourth show actually. It was our fourth show, and she went on a rant, about how, because the room didn't respond to one of her jokes, like she thought it should, and just kind of made fun, didn't, I guess, made fun of the audience. Just, it's called, I guess, bombing is the word for it. But it was a very entertaining, I had a lot of fun watching it, and it was like basically for almost 30 minutes. It was like 30 minutes of Robin just crashing out basically on stage. At one point in the set, she just like looked at me and said, "Stacy, I'm so fucking done with this tour." And I was like, actually thought that she was gonna walk off stage any second. So she didn't walk off stage. We finished in Denver. We were very happy with how it all went out, but now we're taking a break because touring is exhausting in like every single way. So I'm back trying to get on the grind and make podcast episodes again. If you're watching on video, what do you think about my setup? What does this look okay? This is just a corner in my house. I didn't really, it wasn't really designed to do this. I just turned one of the chairs towards the light, and yeah, I should probably do something with those board games or something. I don't know. Some Legos, a globe. Oh, you can't see the globe. Globe's out of the shot. But I just want you guys to know that I'm educated on geographical things. I look through it every day and memorize, like I recite every single country to make sure that I know all about what's going on. Which is why everything I post on Twitter is just so perfect and on the money. So, yeah, I'm a smart person. Next point. The Epstein stuff is getting weird. Trump, I think everybody kind of knows what happened, but they promised that they were going to do Epstein files. They invited a bunch of influencers to the White House and gave them binders that said Epstein files, phase one, Epstein files phase one, and they're all holding it up like all proud to be invited to this Epstein files thing. And then I think it's about a month. That was about a month or two ago. And then recently, the attorney general is like, "There are no Epstein files." Jokes on all you guys. And Trump like ran on releasing the Epstein files, and Republicans, very like the kind of people like online, they've been talking about the Epstein files, who's going to be in the Epstein files forever. And then Trump comes out after everyone gets upset at the AG saying that there are no files, and Trump comes out and is like, "You guys are stupid for caring about the Epstein files. They were made up by Obama and Clinton and Biden, and dude is nuts." So he says they don't exist, and then he says they do exist, but they're fake and gay. And I don't know exactly how this ends. I'm tired of. Honestly, thought we'd stop hearing about this guy like 10 something years ago. But it's just kind of like they like to edge us with it. I don't think that's a phrase I should use when talking about the Epstein files. But anyways, let's move on to other things. I saw Superman twice. Very good. It was fun, and it felt like a new direction for comic book movies. Anyways, skip to about 30 seconds from now if you don't want to hear spoilers. They just straight up killed the stand-in for Netanyahu in the movie. I'm sure that a lot of people thought that was really cool. I also Superman has a little bit of it's interventionist, I guess, foreign diplomacy, which we've been against as a country for a while since Iraq, which Iraq was a disaster, bad intervention, but there's been times in history when we've done good interventions, and I think there's been some times with some stuff happening around the world where maybe we should have done something, and we didn't. And there's things going on in the world that would be cool if somebody did something, like if we had a real life Superman, which we don't, and that's kind of it makes me sad. It like made me cry during the scene when the it was basically it's basically Palestine slash Ukraine against Russia slash Israel. Like that's pretty much it's their made up country. It's not. I was wanting to say Astoria. I can't remember. I can't even remember these fake countries' names. But they're calling for Superman. You really want Superman to come save everybody, and the music's playing and all that kind of stuff. And then knowing that like there's no Superman in real life, and that all those people just died. That sucks. I wish we could do something besides get mad at people online over it. What else should I tell you guys? Hey, listen. The Oklahoma City won the national championship. What did I tell you? What I tell you? I told you at the beginning of the season. I think it was actually my last solo podcast. I told you guys they were going to win the championship, barring injuries. And we only had one injury, and he played through it. Jalen Williams, in his right hand, he's tore, I think, some kind of ligament, and it was messing up his shooting form. And he just played through it through the whole playoffs. And you could tell something was wrong with his shooting form. You just wondered like what happened, but finding out what it was made perfect sense. But he scored a lot of ways, mostly just layups. He just did a bunch of layups and free throws, and he's great defensively. Whole team came together, super young team. A bunch of which people thought were nobodies are now NBA champions, and fuck you, KD, fuck you. For me, this was healing, because I know I sound healed, don't I? Because Kevin Durant, listen, he's kind of the big reason I started following the Thunder in the first place. I remember reading articles about him and stuff when he was at Texas, because I thought he was cool because of how skinny he was, but he played on the wing, and when I was younger, that's kind of more the player I was. Some coaches would try to put me down low, but I didn't weigh anything. I was so skinny, but I was fast, and I was good at the skills. I'm not Durant level, but like Durant physiognomy, I guess, but at a very low level, right? So I identified with him, and then they moved to Oklahoma City, right next to where my, it's the closest team to me, and so I became a Thunder fan all the way, and then in 2016, which was a very bad year for I think a lot of people, but before Trump was elected, there was some shocking sports events called blowing a 3-1 lead, and the first 3-1 lead blown of the year was the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Golden State Warriors, Game 6 of the 2016 NBA Finals. Klay Thompson hit 13 threes. The Kevin Durant played like shit, and the Thunder lost by just a little bit, and then Game 7 they lost by about, I think it was like 10. And then Durant quit the Thunder and joined the Warriors, the team that just beat him, for less money, right? This was a big betrayal for me. I know he doesn't know me personally, but this is the same year that my dad disowned me, right? And my girlfriend broke up with me. So even Kevin Durant left me, but Russell Westbrook stayed. And that's why I'll love Russell Westbrook for the rest. He'll always be my favorite player. I don't care if he never learned how to shoot threes, but he's my real dad. A lot of people said after Durant left, and then especially after we traded Westbrook, we ended up trading Westbrook because things were clearly we weren't going to win a championship. He wanted to go chase on a better team, and so we traded as a mutual thing. which is much better than what Durant did, which is he just left us with, weren't able to trade him. We just lost his value immediately. Western, we got some stuff back, right? And I cried that day, but it was time for him to go. And people were saying that the Thunder would never like rebuild after that it was done for this terrible team in Oklahoma City, this state that nobody cares about. And part of me thought it was true, but I knew that the system was there. The guy who drafted all those people was still there, and I was a fan of the coaching. And we made a ton of correct decisions, and now we have, it's like almost the youngest team to ever win a championship. And everybody comes back next year, and we get to add actually a few more people. We had one guy who, his name is Nikola Topic, and he tore his ACL at the beginning of the year. Didn't play all year. He's a white guy from Serbia, just like Nikola Jokic, but he's a smaller player. He's much more like flashy, I guess, just because he's smaller. Jokic is pretty flashy for a big guy. But we're just going to add him on the team. He was our number 1 pick. I think we picked him number 12, so it was like he's pretty high up there. And he was on the bench the entire time, and we still won a championship. So congrats to all my Thunderheads and to all the people who didn't jump on the bandwagon a year ago whenever I told you to. You have another chance to do it again, because they're going to win the championship again unless somebody gets hurt, which you can't ever control. But it is true that God hates me, and I'm less on that. I used to believe that God hates me. Like I believe in a God, but he doesn't care for me in particular. Like me specifically, it's like fuck that person. But after the Thunder actually won the championship, my belief in that like halved. Like now I don't even, maybe he's not out to get me, right? Because if my shitty team from Oklahoma, after what happened to Golden State, can come back and win a championship like 10 years later, then maybe I can do anything. Maybe I can do a set at the Cellar, right? Like maybe I can become fiscally responsible and have a good retirement plan. Maybe all that stuff can happen. I want to keep this episode kind of short because honestly, I might not post this episode. We'll have to see on the recording quality and if I sounded like a crazy person. And if so, congrats to you. If I do actually post it, congrats to you for being able to listen to it. And also, congrats to me and the sound guy over there, Baby Cat, for doing a good technical setup. Man, monologuing for a really long time is hard because I was, I've been taught by society that if I am saying too many words in a row, I'm annoying people. But for some reason, people want to listen to me, and I'm constantly worried, like, am I annoying everybody? Should I quit the podcast before I get to that point to where you're sick of hearing from me? I'm a very brave person for letting you guys listen to me and risking that level of embarrassment. I usually think about this whenever I'm going to sleep, and I don't feel like getting out of bed and writing stuff down on my phone so I'll remember. But I had like so many ideas. I was like, because so much has happened in the last 4 months. And I feel like I have something to say about it every single day, but then, put it all in that back, and it's like, that's some old shit, man. It's over a whole week old. Like, where were you? Hung out with a very offline friend. So I know she's not gonna listen to this episode. And she basically has like not paid attention to the news for like a solid, I don't know how long it's been, but I was trying to catch her up on all the crazy things that happened because she's actually pretty historically literate. She just hasn't like paid attention to what's happened recently because it's just like, it's depressing, man. You want to disconnect. She hates the social media algorithms that are driven for outrage. She hates AI. She hates what cell phones have become. And I used to be I like cell phones person, but I think she's got a good point. Especially, I'm getting worried about AI because we don't have any like legislation. We don't got laws to deal with it. Because I mean, what it was about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks, when Grok, the AI for Twitter, started tweeting out the worst anti-Semitic stuff like about possible. Uh, and I guess I wish I had printed out the tweets to read them to the people who aren't on Twitter. Actually, what it said, but it wasn't. It wasn't just a few things. It was so much. Someone asked like, what 20th century leader would be best for today's political climate for the moment or whatever, and Grok said Adolf Hitler because he's willing to do what needs to be done for the white race. And I feel like just talking about that is going to get me flagged on YouTube and get a visit by an FBI agent. But a computer says it, a robot says it, and no problem. They don't even say, "Hey, maybe shut the robot down" or anything like that. They just are like, "Eh." And I feel like if you make a robot capable of doing hate speech and the robot starts doing hate speech, you should have some liability in that. How much hate speech are we going to let AIs get away with before we start making rules against these fucking robots? We need to start thinking about them as robots, all right? They're basically people at this point. And we need to have legal accountability for these robots, okay? They can't just dodge the law just cuz they're synthetic and not human, right? Like it only matters if you're a person, but and I mean, what if Grok fucking kills people? Like what's the difference? I mean, okay, there's a little bit of a difference between hate speech and killing people, but they're both pretty illegal. Like every country has some pretty severe penalties against this, and robots and the people who make and own and profit from the robots just face absolutely no consequences. And it's going to be a long time before we get, I mean, it will be at least, we got to wait till Trump's gone, at least to write some legislation regulating AI. How long did it take Skynet to just take over? I don't know. I feel like it was less than 10 years, so there's enough time for Skynet to happen. And I don't think it'll happen that way. I think that, I don't think the AI will become sentient and then go on a quest to destroy all humans. But I do think there's a bunch of billionaires with incentives to tell their robots to do really bad stuff for their own benefit while facing like complete impunity for whatever happens. Yeah, so that's where I currently stand on AI. What is your favorite slur for robots? Drop them in the comments. Let us know. It shouldn't get this flag for hate speech because robots are currently not a protected class under the Civil Rights Act. Have at it. Free reign. Please try not to make it rhyme with any sort of racial slurs or anything like that. Just, don't be derivative. Be creative. Come up with something new. I've heard the term clinker, so go ahead and don't put that in the comments because that, I feel like, is the predominant one. But I feel like we can do better. That's from Star Wars, okay? There's no way that the writers for Star Wars are going to control human lexicon for the next 500 years. That would be so stupid. Like I said, it's been a year, I think, since my last solo podcast episode. I have some tentative plans for guests in the next few months, so I should start getting back into hosting people. And a big reason I haven't started doing a podcast again is I can't really find a good place to record in Baltimore. I mean, I've looked them online or whatever, but there's still stuff you got to scout out. I'll find a studio some point. I'll start interviewing interesting people, and I hope you'll tune in then. We only have one hot month left, and then we can go outside again and maybe not get bit up by mosquitoes like crazy. Mosquitoes love me. All right, everyone loves me. But mosquitoes love me in particular. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all of the estrogen and progesterone. If I walk outside, in my backyard, I'll get 20 mosquito bites in a span of 5 minutes. And I'll be standing with somebody. and they'll get one, and that's it. And I just don't feel like it's fair, and I think they should spread that around. And honestly, I don't like advocating for killing at all. Like, a bug's in my house, I get a cup and I catch the bug, put it outside. Any sort of situation on war, I was like, we should do something to stop whatever. But when it comes to mosquitoes, we should genocide them all. And we have a plan. We have a way this can work. We can put a virus that makes the males impotent, and they just won't reproduce, and they're just all dead across the globe. And they kill tons of people from malaria. Not in the US, because we eradicated it here and it can't spread. I don't know exactly. Bill Gates did something about it. But malaria kills a lot of people. We wouldn't have to worry about malaria anymore. And we wouldn't have to fucking swat these guys. I could go outside. I love outside. And I don't go outside because I'll die out there. So, yeah, we should definitely kill mosquitoes. So that's it for the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in and for sticking with me for so long and for being patient after all the stuff that I didn't do, because I should have been recording more content. Go to the swimming pool, buy a new bikini, go to the beach, because in a month or 2 months you'll be like, why didn't I do that more whenever it was summer? And you'll just be stuck with great weather and the smell of falling leaves and stuff like pumpkin spice lattes and fireplaces and all those horrible things that come with fall. All right, anyways, thank you for watching the podcast, and you have a good week. See y'all.